So let's start by defining what top talent, A players, rock stars are. Recruitment legend Jeff Hyman calls them that top 5% of candidates who are available in the market for your opportunity at the time that you are recruiting and who are obviously within a salary range that you can afford. Of course, not all of the top performers in the market will be available for your opportunity or any opportunity at the specific time, and not all of them might be within a range that you can afford. Once those things are in place, you obviously also want to make sure that this individual will fit your organization, your values, your ethics, and will fit into the team and have got a right attitude, because you certainly don't want to bring someone like that on board and they drive all of your other top performers in your company away because their attitude is so bad. Now, it's important to remember when you are recruiting for top talent that these individuals are very rarely actively in the market. Yes, at times they might be because they are relocating or they've been retrenched through no fault of their own, or they might really have reached a ceiling where they are and need new challenges in a different environment. But most of the time, these candidates will not be out there looking for a job. So you need to approach recruitment of top talent very different to what you would just any other role, where you would place an advert and hope people respond and see the advert and it's the right candidate for the job. So I'm going to help you with a few pointers, both on what you should be looking for in terms of identifying them as top talent, and then, of course, once you have got them in a process, what you should do. So just a few short notes on that. So number one, top talent really has a passion for what they do. You will often find that when you start talking to them about what they do, they almost talk too much because they are so deeply engrossed and involved and invested in what they are doing. They know the details of the projects and they are happy to share that because they've done that work. If you talk to someone and you're trying to qualify them for a role and the terms that they use is very generic and very high level and they don't really get into the detail of the role, it should be a big red flag and you should really dig deeper, because chances are they were just working as part of a team and very loosely involved and not committed to making the project or the work they've been doing a success. The second thing you want to watch for is that money is not their main driver. Look, top talent know that they are worth more than others because of their contributions, but they are not money driven above everything else and at the expense of everything else. So if the first question is what the salary increase on this new role is going to be, that should be a big red flag. And again, you need to dig deeper. You know, the truth is that there are very, very few candidates who are truly underpaid. I have come across a handful of those in my 20 years of recruitment. And in those cases, yes, money could be a very big motivator. But for the most part, people are on the medium, a little bit above, a little bit below. And so money should not be the first thing that they ask about and the most important thing that they ask about unless they are truly underpaid. The next thing you want to watch for is that they are not totally hung up on titles. And oftentimes that obviously goes hand in hand with money, higher title, more money. Because if, again, it's more important to them what title they are going to carry than what the content of the role is, what the values of the organization and what the goals and where this organization is going, if that is less important to them than the title that they are going to be carrying, that is another red flag, and you want to dig deeper to make sure that there is the depth of talent, experience, and contribution that you need for your role. Now, once you have identified them as top talent and you're starting to put them through a process and you're starting to present the opportunity to them, make sure that you bring a very compelling offering to them. Practice the way that you present the opportunity, why it would be wonderful to join your organization, why it would be wonderful to fulfill this role. Remember, they will be looking to work with top teams. They will be looking to report to top talent managers who will grow them, stretch them where they can learn. They would want to have the opportunity to really come and contribute and make a difference and bring their particular skill and talent on board for the good of everyone. So make sure that you're able to voice that, and that right throughout every phase of the recruitment process, you reiterate and repeat that to them again. Make sure that everyone that's involved in the recruitment process will be speaking out of the same book and telling them this same story, because it's good to present it to them on the first round when you get them interested in the role, but people forget, and many other things happen in between. And also, the more times you hear the same thing or you hear different aspects of the same thing, the more it strengthens your understanding and your interest in that space. So make sure you don't just present it once and then keep quiet about it through the rest of the process. The next thing that's very important is the timing. Make sure that your recruitment process keeps on moving forward at a steady pace. Don't do it so fast that they kind of draw back because it's just too much to handle. But also don't wait a month from a first interview to psychometrics or a second interview or the rest of the process. Keep it moving forward, because remember, by definition, top talent are people who are proactive, who make things happen. They're movers and shakers. So if your process is very slow, that starts raising some questions in their mind as to, how is it going to be to work here? Is it going to take a month to get anything done? Is it always going to be so slow? Or is this a company that can actually move forward and get things on the go? So make sure you keep that moving forward. Also then, if you do get to the point where you're making them an offer, don't insult them with a lowball offer and think they are going to come back and negotiate. Remember, most of the times they are not actively in the market. So there is no big driver for them to necessarily leave where they are. And if you come in with a low offer, they might just walk away. Most of the times they do. They will just walk away and say, look, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm good where I am, and I'll rather wait until something that is more attractive comes along. So yes, they are not mainly driven by money, but neither do they want to be insulted by the offer that you make them. And if you cannot afford much of a raise for them, don't insult them by just sending them an offer over email and hoping they're going to accept it. No, have the courtesy to call them, to talk them through the offer, to explain to them why you can't offer more, and see how you can add other things to the offer. Maybe you can pay for additional studies for them, or they can have extra leave time to spend, for school projects with their children, or maybe you can give them project bonuses. So think of creative ways in which you can incentivize them and make it worthwhile and attractive for them to come on board, and explain those in detail to them. And then another very powerful thing you can do is, once they have accepted your offer, let the hiring manager, within a short 2-3 days after they've accepted the offer, give them a call to welcome them on board and welcome them with a team. Remember, the more connected they feel with your organization, the better your chances are to get them right through that notice period and on board in your company. Top talent by nature are at risk of counter offers any time that they resign. And so you want to make sure that they are already tied closely to you and they have got access to a hiring manager. And if they've got questions within that month, they can raise those questions, and they don't just feel isolated for a whole month, but they actually feel very much connected to you. That will very much support them through a counter offer process and through working through the resignation phase and then coming on board with you. And then once they're on board, make sure that with the onboarding, especially for the first 2 or 3 months, they have got weekly meetings with their hiring manager or with the person that they report to give them feedback on how they are doing and helping them along with things that they need to know. Make sure you introduce them properly to the team. After the first 2 to 3 months, make sure you have at least every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks a meeting with them, again, just to keep them updated as to where they are. Don't keep them in isolation and just hope they are going to swim. Make it as easy as possible for them, that they can focus on what they have come on board to do and not needing to navigate all the politics or all the difficulties or not know where to go to get questions answered. So I hope these pointers help you and it enables you to bring some of the best candidates ever on board in your organizations.